Hello friends, it's Kristie Marcotte. If you've been following my videos before, you know I'm a huge fan of Love from Lizi's peel-offs. I use them as often as I can, and I've received quite a few questions about how I store the peel-offs. Love from Lizi recently released their peel-off sticker storage album, and she sent me one, so I thought I would show you in case you're interested. So the album includes 50 clear sleeves, so you're able to put 100 sheets of peel-offs. And I think you could probably fit more than 100. I haven't tried it out yet, but if you have duplicates of some of your favorite color and styles, I think you could put several sheets inside each of the sleeves. So you can put one on the front and on the back. The sleeves are big enough so it's not a super tight fit trying to get your peel-off sheets in and out. The album has a hard plastic cover, and it also includes an elastic band so you can keep your album closed. The plastic sleeves are stitched into the album very securely, so they should not come out. Love from Lizi released this, I believe, last month, might have been the month before, but it sold out right away. I guess there are lots of people out there just waiting for the perfect peel-off storage. And if you're interested, I do have a link in the description box below. Hopefully it'll still be available when I post this video. Lizi also sent me some of her new Twinkle style peel-offs. Lots of pretty pastel glitter colors. And just briefly, I also showed the gold mirror Twinkle style. This isn't new, I was just out, so I needed another sheet to replace it. I think most of the colors I'm showing you right now are fairly new to Love from Lizi's shop. They all have glitter, but the glitter is sealed, so it won't make a mess. Now it's hard to see the design, so on this pink sheet, I will remove this negative portion. And what I love is it comes off perfectly, and it does make it easier to remove the individual peel-offs. Most of the peel-off styles include 3 of each size. The mini shapes are some of my favorites. They work great for embellishments, and they don't add any thick dimension. Love from Lizi also released their background builder set number 2. Many years ago, set number 1 was released, and now Lizi has added set number 2. I love all the different shapes. Set number 1 has the sentiment best wishes. Set number 2 has 2 different scallop borders. You can mix and match them for endless layout possibilities. In today's video, I'll be using both of the background builder die sets. For pattern paper and images, I'm using Doodlebug Designs Berry Sweet Collection. I have the 6x8 paper and the All the Things die cut pack. I really needed some bright and cheerful colors, and Doodlebug Design never disappoints. For card design number 1, I selected the yellow polka dot tone-on-tone pattern paper for the background. This piece is 4 inches by 5¼ inches, and I'm adding a couple of green mirror peel-offs in the pinstripe style, using the widest and narrowest width. And this is the grass green mirror color. I used the grid lines on my craft mat to help get the peel-offs nice and straight across the card, but I could also use the polka dots on the pattern paper since they are actually straight. Sometimes polka dots on pattern paper are not lined up straight, so you can't use them as a reference. I wrapped the ends of the peel-offs around the back of the pattern paper. Layer this piece on some red cardstock, and that cardstock layer is an additional 1/8 of an inch. So 4 1/8 of an inch by 5 3/8 of an inch. I'll put ATG tape on the back and add my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. From set number 2, I'm adding this fun scallop frame and then the inside piece, and I use the pierce die to add that fun border. I'll glue the 2 pieces together, and I will place an acrylic block on top for some added weight while the glue dries. That way it'll lay nice and flat. I'll be adding this sweet little mouse image holding a giant strawberry and the sentiment "so berry cute." And both of these are ephemera pieces. I did put foam dimension behind the sentiment and the image. Behind the image, I used the small foam squares from scrapbook.com in the 1mm thickness. And behind the sentiment, I used the 1/4 inch foam from scrapbook.com in the 1mm thickness. I'll put Barely Art glue on the back of the image box, adhere it on the card, place that acrylic block on top again, let it sit for a little bit so it lays nice and flat. Then I'll add this sweet little mouse image inside that panel, put the sentiment underneath. And you may have noticed I didn't put the narrow peel off all the way across the card. Instead, I used some of the scrap pieces, and that's because I knew I was covering it up with the sentiment. For a final finishing touch, I'm adding some shape sprinkles from Doodlebug. This is from their Love You More set. It's retired. I've had it for years. I'm really trying to use up some of these older embellishments. I selected just the red color, put 2 in the upper right-hand corner, and 1 on the left side of the mouse in the lower corner of this image box. They do have adhesive on the back, but as I mentioned, they are older, so I'm also adding a small drop of Barely Art glue. That way I know they'll stay in place. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. For card design number 2, I selected the pink polka dot tone-on-tone paper for the background, and I already cut the bottom edge using one of the scallop dies from set number 2. Before adhering the pink panel down, I'm putting a small piece of a green tone-on-tone diagonal stripe paper, and this is from one of Doodlebug Design's petite print collections. I think this piece is about 1 inch by 4 1/4 of an inch. After adhering that down, now I'll add the pink polka dot paper. I used ATG tape behind most of this panel, but I will put some glue behind that scallop border. Now I'll adhere it on the card base, place that acrylic block on top. That way the scallop border lays nice and flat. For a little extra detail, I'm adding a peel off right above that scallop border. This is the pinstripe style in white with silver overlay. So it has this lovely silver shine. I use the widest width. After adhering it down, I'll flip over the card, and with a pair of scissors, I'll trim off the edge so it's flush on the right side. Next, I'll add this lovely strawberry vine pattern paper piece, and I cut it out using a stitched rectangle die, and this is included on the background builder set number 1. This card will feature 2 of the strawberry ephemera pieces. One has a sweet little smile. To help them stand out against the background, I'll first add them on some circle die cuts. And both circle dies are from the background builder set number 2. I use more of Doodlebug Design's petite prints for the yellow scallop circle. Adhere that one down first, then I'll add the pierce circle on top, overlapping it just a tiny bit. I did pop up both strawberries with some foam dimension. For a sentiment, I'm adding Your Berry Sweet, and this is another ephemera piece. Half of the sentiment will sit on the strawberry vine pattern paper piece, and the other half won't. So before adding the foam dimension, I first put a scrap piece of cardstock behind the sentiment, but just on the lower half. I'll remove the release paper from the foam and adhere the sentiment in place. And for a final finishing touch, even though the strawberry with the little smile already has that little flower image, I want to add a little extra detail by putting one of the same white flower shape sprinkles on top. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. For card design number 3, I selected 2 pattern papers using the green tone-on-tone gingham paper for the background. This piece is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And down the center, I'm adding this fun strawberry with white polka dot pattern paper piece. And this piece is 2 1/2 inches by 5 1/4 inch. I'll add it on the center of the green gingham pattern paper. And for that little bit of separation and shine, I'll put a Love from Lizi peel off along the edge of the strawberry pattern paper. I'm using the white with silver overlay, and this time I have the medium width. I'll wrap the ends around the back, layer this piece on some red cardstock, and I'm not sure of the color or brand of this red cardstock. This is just from my stash. I'll put ATG tape on the back and add my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 inch of the white card base showing. All of my cards in this video are American Standard A2 size, 4 1/4 inches by 5 1/2 inches. I love this fun square scallop frame with the 2 rounded corners, so I'm using it again. For the inside piece, this time I didn't use that pierce detail since I am adding a larger ephemera piece. I'll glue the 2 pieces together, and I did use some white shimmer cardstock for the white piece. I'll put glue on the back, add the image panel toward the top of the card, and I did put foam dimension behind the ephemera piece. I love this cheerful polka dot cup filled with strawberries and white flowers. For a sentiment, I've already stamped out "Have a Sunshiny Day," and this is from scrapbook.com's Sunshiny Day stamp set. The stitched rectangle piece is from the Background Builder set number 1. It's perfect for adding sentiments. I did pop it up using foam dimension, and I'll adhere it at the bottom of the card. And for a little extra detail, I'm adding these super cute strawberries. It's Doodlebug Designs Icon Sprinkles. They're bitty berries. They are fairly thick. I wouldn't recommend mailing a card with them, but they're super cute, so I couldn't resist adding them. I'll put one on the right and left side of the sentiment. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. The other card, the image features a pink polka dot cup with strawberries and a little mouse on top. Now moving on to card design number 4. For the background of my card, I'm using some linen texture white cardstock. This piece is 5 1/8 inch by 3 7/8 inch. Before layering the white cardstock piece on red cardstock, I'll first add some peel-offs across the card, using more of the grass green mirror peel-offs in the pinstripe style. I'm using the widest and narrowest width. Since I will be covering up the center with an image, I'm able to use some of the scrap pieces. And to help get them nice and straight, I'm using the grid lines on my craft mat. I'll wrap the ends around the back, put ATG tape on the back of the white cardstock, and layer it on red cardstock. And the red cardstock piece is A2 size. I'll add more adhesive and put my card front onto a card base. With so many adorable pattern papers in the Berry Sweet collection, I selected 3 of them and cut them out using the narrow rectangle piece from Background Builder set number 1. And this is the same die I used for the sentiment on the previous card. So it's great to use for sentiments, or you can simply cut out pattern paper or cardstock strips. Instead of using 5 different designs, I'm going with 3. I have the green polka dot in the very center, 2 of the strawberry and white flower strips, and 2 of the red with white polka dots. I'll start by adding the green polka dot in the very center. And I'm not adding them all straight up and down and evenly spaced. Instead, I'm going with a very random look, putting them at different angles, different heights, and even overlapping some of them. After adding the green one in the center, I'll work on the right side, putting the strawberry and white flower piece down, and then the red polka dot on the outside. Then I'll do the same thing on the left side, add the strawberry and white flower piece, and then the red with white polka dot on the outside. So right now it looks a little messy, but that's okay. I will be covering up the center with a sentiment and also an image. And to help the image stand out against the background, I'll be adding it on 2 stitched circle die cuts. The white circle, that die is from Background Builder set number 1. The larger circle, I use Love from Lizi's Stitch Circle die set. Love from Lizi has some of the best nested shape die sets. They include tons of different sizes, so you're bound to have the right one. I'll adhere the 2 circles together, then put glue on the back and adhere the circles on the center of the card. For a sentiment, I have another ephemera piece just for you. Part of the sentiment will sit at the bottom of the stitch circles. I'm popping up the sentiment but not adding foam behind that area. Instead, I put a scrap piece of cardstock, and that way it sits at the same level. I'll remove the release paper, add a little bit of glue in that cardstock area, and adhere it underneath the circle. And for an ephemera piece, I have some happy little strawberries sitting in one of the paper cups, and I did pop it up with foam dimension. For embellishments, I'm using more of the heart shape sprinkles from Doodlebug Design. This is the tiny heart set. Again, it's a very old set. I don't think it's available any longer. I also pulled out the Love You More set, so I had more variety of colors. I'm putting 3 hearts in the upper right-hand corner and 2 in the lower left-hand corner. Generally, I like to add the same colors when I use embellishments, but for this card, decided to use 3 different colors. So I have red, teal, and green. There is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. I think this is a really fun design and great for finishing up some of those pattern paper scraps. For card design number 5, I am using a card sketch for inspiration. This is from Freshly Made Sketches. It's 692. For the background of my card, I have the teal background with white flowers and the yellow center. That piece is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. For the narrow strip on the right side of the card, using more of the yellow polka dot tone on tone, I'm layering both of the pieces on some teal cardstock from my stash. And for a little extra detail, I added one of the scallop borders on the right side of the polka dot piece. Before adding the yellow piece, I'll put some Love from Lizi peel-offs across the card, using the pinstripe style in silver. I have the medium and the narrowest width. Most of it will be covered up, so I'm using some of the small scrap pieces. It's always good to keep those small peel-off scraps. You never know if you need just a tiny bit. I'll wrap the ends around the back, put ATG tape on the back of this piece, layer it on the teal cardstock. And that teal cardstock layer is an additional 1/8 of an inch. So 4 1/8 of an inch by 5 3/8 of an inch. I noticed a little extra cardstock on the right side, so I did use my trimmer to even it up. Now I'll add the yellow polka dot piece on the right side. And since I did add this scallop border, it does make this yellow piece a little bit larger than what's on the card sketch. Now I'll put ATG tape on the back, add my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. On the card sketch, there are 3 small squares. I'm substituting them for the squares with the rounded corners and also that scallop frame. And this die is from the Background Builder set number 2. It's one die, but it does cut out the inside separately. I'm using that teal cardstock for the scallop frame, and the inside piece I use white shimmer cardstock. To keep the 2 pieces together, I'll flip them over, put some clear double-sided adhesive tape on the back. I think I used the 1/4 inch size. And I'll just add a piece around all 4 edges. And I will be adding the 3 squares. I've already assembled the other 2. When attaching them on the left side of the yellow polka dot, I'm alternating the direction. So for that top square, the rounded corners, one's in the upper right hand and the other is the lower left hand. And then I'll flip it for the middle, and then the bottom square will be the same as the top square. On the card sketch, it does have the squares going about half off of this narrow yellow strip, but I'm only having the left scallop edge going off. Before removing the release paper from the tape, I'll first place all 3 squares on the yellow polka dot panel. That way I can get them evenly spaced. And now I'll remove the release paper and add all 3 squares down. Inside 2 of the squares, I'll put one of the yellow flowers, and I did pop it up using more foam dimension. I used the large foam squares from scrapbook.com in the 1mm thickness. For a sentiment, I've already stamped out hello. The sentiment is from my favorite Love from Lizi stamp set. It's called Hello Sunshine. It has 9 different hellos in different fonts. The die I use for the sentiment is from the Background Builder set number 2. I'm adhering it on the middle square. Behind the left side of the sentiment where it goes off of the other layers, I will put some foam dimension. I'll remove the release paper, put glue behind the right side of the sentiment, and adhere it in place. And I meant to have the 2 peel-off pieces a little bit higher instead of that bottom edge of the sentiment, but it still works. For a final finishing touch, I'll add more shape sprinkles from Doodlebug Design. On the right and left side of the sentiment, I'm adding a white flower. And these are from the Berry Blossom set. And this one is available. Inside the yellow flowers, I'll add a small green heart. And I am putting that small drop of glue just to make sure those stay in place. The top heart didn't want to cooperate, but luckily I have a little bit of time to get it adjusted before the glue dries. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. Now here's another look at the 10 cards I made using Love from Lizi's Background Builder set number 1 and 2, along with Doodlebug Design's adorable Berry Sweet collection. I had so much fun making these cards. You can never go wrong with Doodlebug and Love from Lizi peel-offs and her new dies. If you are interested in any of the products I used in this video, I do have links in the description box below. And I also added a link for the new storage album if you're interested in it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.